right? The second Warwick disappears in here, I would be certain he's coming for me, and it's going to be very hard to do these camps. In fact, you're probably going to have to give them up, maybe just base, or pray that your laners just give up their CS to come help you. That's the position you've put yourself in, right? Mic check, mic check. Hey guys, Pope Sano here, back with another VOD review. Today we are looking at a silver Hecarim player. Now, Hecarim is actually one of my favorite champions in the whole game. Maybe you could say a guilty pleasure pick. I just find that he has the ability to really take over a game, because if you can path well on Hecarim, you are not only able to consistently farm well, but you're able to get into fights, you're able to gank, you're able to take objectives. Hecarim is really a powerhouse in the sense that he can truly do so much. Now, this player has told me a little bit about himself, and he basically said that his early game pathing is good, but what he lacks is his ability to fight. Now, to be honest, whenever it says their early game pathing is good, I get a little suspicious. But let's go ahead and see kind of what does end up happening here. It looks like he's going to start on his Raptor camp. And looking at the lanes this game, I think what I would personally like to see, probably not going to go bottom, because it's hard to run into both a Vayne and a Shaco. It's actually very difficult with the boxes, Shaco Q, and as well Vayne's Condemn and that type of thing. So what I would actually do here, I would personally clear these 3 camps, and then I would instantly base and buy some boots. So let's take a look at what he does. He does end up missing a Q there, which is unfortunate. This is going to slow him down a little bit. And on Hecarim, really having an optimized clear is important, because he can clear very quickly, right? So let's see what he decides to do here. Looks like he's gonna drag and start walking towards his good pull. Okay, so again, we know that Warwick has started. Oh, here's your first mistake. If you're gonna decide to full clear like this, I want you to put 2 points in Q. At the end of the day, it's just going to be faster taking all 3 of these with 2 points Q rather than putting a point in E. The only reason I'm putting a point in E is because I would want to maybe hover Lux. So if you're going to put a point in E, then I would actually prefer to see you walk down here, maybe drop a ward for Lux, then go back and start clearing. And yes, that does slow down your clear a little bit, but that's the only reason for me why I see putting a point in E can work. It just simply does less damage to the camps, especially with Hecarim's with his Q stacks and how low of a cooldown that Q is on. So definitely here as well, just because I'm being nitpicky. Like, he does win this game, guys. He does win this game. So in games that we win, I'm going to be extra nitpicky. If you want me to look at a game that you won, that's how I think it's fair. So you're killing wolves here by turning around and auto attacking, queuing, so on and so forth. But you can continue to pull this camp. Wolves will walk out to like around this area for you. You can be pulling that the whole way. Okay, so we're gonna continue to finish our clear here. Decent pull on the Gromp. Now we can pull blue very far because we do have smite. Okay, he elects not to smite the blue buff. Now you do have the priority top lane, so let's see what we do. I like the decision to instantly base here. There's not much going on, especially with where Hecarim is at. We do see that blast cone, or excuse me, the vision cone, and so we spot out Warwick. Now, what I'm hoping you're doing here is checking CS. 24 CS means that he is full cleared, and obviously you know he hasn't done Skull Crab yet. Really good pings. You guys notice how I harp on this a lot. He's pinging bottom lane. They start to back off. This is the type of thing that we need to be doing in all elos, not just, you know, lower elo, not just higher elo. We know that Warwick is bottom. We have to ping. Okay, so he ends up buying the boots, the tier 2 boots, which is never a wrong buy on Hecarim. Does end up missing one baby Krug, but shouldn't be a big deal. So the only thing I don't like the decision of basically the way that you chose to walk here, particularly after we kind of see that this trading is finished. I don't think you need to be pulling out this way. I guess unless you're worried that Warwick could come in here, then that's okay. At least there would be some logic to that. Again, I would prefer to be pulling this way and just going straight to my Raptor camp. Like, I guess if we just look back, right? So you're coming out of base. You're starting to do the camp. Bit of trading going on. But really, nothing much is happening. Like, they're just in a position where they can't be ganked. So what's going to happen here is we lose all of our Q stacks, unfortunately. And it's just going to take us a little bit longer. Okay, so you auto-attack. You're auto-attacking the small Krugs, or the small Raptors. Let's be a little bit better with that. We don't ever need to auto-attack those. Okay, where are we going here? So we're looking mid. So I'm not a fan of this whatsoever. This could end up being a massive throw. So basically, what do we know that's happening in this game, right? Okay, we know that Warwick was just bottom side. Okay, he basically cleared everything up at the start of the game. Cleared everything up. He hit this plant, right? We saw that vision. He comes through mid, 24 CS, takes this. We pinged him off. It would stand to reason that we would assume he might back after that, but then his bot side camps are up, right? So what we know, or what we know for a fact, is that Warwick has bought 28 CS. Now he's gone back into his side of the jungle. I would assume that because that's a full clear plus a crab, Warwick would have based. In this case, I don't believe that he did. Not yet. And so, but what would be very fair to assume is that he based, and then he's come back towards his bot side, and he's clearing down here right now, okay? So basically, on that same timer, you now have come out of base, taken this camp, you went the long way, and now you've done this camp extremely slowly compared to what Hecarim can do. And so basically, you're working on a timer in which Warwick could have a fresh buy himself. You know that he's clearing his camps almost, I would say, 80 to 90%, probably 90% clearing his camps in his bot side. And you're making the decision to run mid against a Vigar who can drop cage on you, who can, you know, I think when you go in as well, he's fighting inside of a wave. You don't know where Warwick is, right? Could easily be close to your lane. So this is just, all I'm trying to say is that this is very, very, very low percentage. I would say even if Warwick doesn't show up at all, the likelihood of you getting this kill is probably 10%, if that. Especially like you're down on levels. Yeah, so cage gets dropped. So here comes Warwick. You are going to pick up the wave, but again, I'm just going to point this out, in higher elo, right? In silver, you will not get punished for this. But in higher elo, what you've just done now is mid has priority, right? Your mid is just coming back. This is all getting shoved in. Warwick could easily, he's full HP. He knows that you've been chunked. He could easily come through here into your top side. You don't have top lane priority. And their top and their mid could easily move on you. This, I'm just explaining, this is what would happen guaranteed in higher elo. right? The second Warwick disappears in here, I would be certain he's coming for me, and it's going to be very hard to do these camps. In fact, you're probably going to have to give them up, maybe just base, or pray that your laners just give up their CS to come help you. That's the position you've put yourself in, right? So again, just pointing that out because you won't be punished for this in silver, but if we want to climb, we have to play the right way. So showing mid, getting chunked when we don't have priority in any lane where we don't know where Warwick is, and when we can still be reasonably sure that he's probably close, or at least has the ability to respond, we have to be very careful of that type of stuff. Okay, so far we have been clearing. You have phase rush, so I'm not 100% sure what you're going for this game. You have double longsword, so I'm curious if you're going to build lethality or not. Hey guys, sorry about that. OBS crashed, and so I just had to restart. Okay, we're gonna finish clearing here. We aren't able to keep up our Q stacks just because of the way the camp spawned. So obviously you've been playing very defensively, except for one gank, really just mainly focusing on farming. I think overall for Hecarim this is okay, but as we start to move into the mid game, now that we have ults, as we start to work towards that first item, this is when Hecarim needs to start pushing an advantage, because you don't scale nearly as well. I really like this path you're taking towards top lane. Let's see how it goes. Okay. Yeah, I like how you've played this so far. And he gets the kill. Nice. Okay, let me just go back here. So, back in this position, coming up towards top, one thing that I mean, you were pinging that you wanted to do, this here. Okay, that's, you know, I think that's totally fine. I really like looking for early Rift Heralds. Once you notice that there's vision here, I want you to be a little bit more picky with how you path. So, in this position, let's go red vision. We can see kind of how far out the vision comes. You get very close to accidentally walking into this. I want you to, once we recognize this, we need to know kind of how big this vision is. We gotta play around that a little bit better. It's not that you even showed, but by the way you were walking, I can tell that either you weren't thinking about this, or you aren't totally sure how far that vision goes, right? So again, just something to consider here. Because look, we cut basically right through red. We cut right through very close. You're kind of like right here, where that vision is. So just be a bit more careful. If you did know exactly, then, you know, my apologies, my bad, bro. But what I do really like here is that you walk all the way around. You're going to avoid vision this way. No point really showing yourself and walking through here, which I would see a lot of junglers do. But instead we take the long route. Now the other thing that I really like that you did here is you Q. Okay, so we get our first Q stack. You're ghosting, and then you're actually just waiting a brief moment in order to basically get your full charge, right? So here, what I would see a lot of Hecarim's players do is they run up and they just instantly knock back. Well, you're losing damage on your devastating charge, so you do a good job here of just waiting that extra second. You get the full knockback, and that's actually what ends up killing Nasus, because it does end up being so close, right? Okay, so if I can, maybe I might end up nitpicking a little bit here. So really good devastating charge. Now, it's a bit hard to see. Okay, so one thing that I'm not a fan of is your decision to walk back this way. What we could do here is just walk with Nasus this whole time, right? Auto Q, you're walking auto Q, walking auto Q, walking auto Q, etc., etc. And then when you get to a point where you're coming up on that tower range, then you ult him back this way. So we can save that a little bit. And what that'll do is basically you're walking with him. You're not missing a single auto. You're not missing a single Q. We maximize our damage on Nasus. This is particularly important against these tanks. But overall, good job. I'm going to shove this in. Base, 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 base. No, no, no. Okay. We're greeting here. I don't think it's the worst thing ever, but if you're going to take this plate... Okay, so we're getting into a situation where we're wasting time. I would actually prefer you to straight up just base here, because we want to get on the map as soon as possible. I don't really care about the 88 gold, to be totally honest. I would prefer to see you base. Let's get back out onto the map, whichever way you decide to go. That'll be on you, but I just want us to reset and get out. In this situation, what we have to think is, it's not that Nasus can do anything, but when we show and we have these extended ganks, Warwick is doing something, right? So here, after this gank happens, you shove this in, I'm spam pinging my mid and my bot. I'm scared for them, right? You can see they're both shoved up. We don't know exactly where Warwick is right now. You did a good job of pinging before, but now, after the play's over, we did a great job here. Let's get our head off of ourselves, start thinking about the map again. As junglers, we have to be very, very consistent with rotating between, I'm thinking about myself, I'm thinking about this fight, now I'm thinking about the map, I'm thinking about my teammates, right? So here, if you just base, allow Kane to get this turret plate, or to just base himself, you get back out on the map, you're spam pinging your teammates during that time, you're trying to look and try to find Warwick, right? So here, what's going to happen is Warwick's going to get the dragon probably before you're really even out of base, and you're going to lose the ability to maybe counter an objective. So that's just the way I would be thinking. Basically, I would want to get back out of the map, and if he is doing this, or if he is doing this, then we can counter either side, because we're out much sooner than he's finished. So all of this, now, this is, I am not a big fan of. I'm a huge fan of your gank. I'm not a big fan of this, right? So even overall, if we check, like, you have 1,000 gold right now, you can be spending that 1k gold and then just doing these camps a lot faster, right? Even if, in the sense, if you think about it like this, you're gonna get Gromp, you're gonna get your camps. Okay, you are level 7 now. What you could have done, again, base, boom, spend our gold, out towards topside, we take blue, we're level 7, we have our highest power spike with wasting as little time possible to look for the counter objective. Tempo, tempo, tempo. Okay, now this is just outright very greedy of you. Extremely greedy of you. Again, we don't have prio mid, we don't have prio top, right? Nasus and Kane just came back. We don't have prio mid. Our Lux is still just coming back. We know that Warwick just did dragon about 30 seconds ago, okay? Or how long ago was it? 9:13, about a minute ago at this point. So that is far too long for you to have this much gold and to be looking for this objective. Not only this much gold, but you don't actually know where Warwick is at. So Warwick should get a double kill here. Ooh, really close. I think he played that pretty bad, but that is okay. It's good for us anyway. So what ends up happening is you go down. This kill that you gave to Warwick is totally on you, right? So I'm just hope we're seeing this. Okay. Thankfully, I mean, our Arcane is playing super well, so that is good. But we can't, you know, especially in Silver, we can't rely on our teammates to carry us. So now you're doing, what I like. Okay, if you were to go bot side here, this is giving you no item you need, right? These are giving you no item you need. This is giving you no level you need. But now, you just coming out of base, you're going straight towards the objective, right? Now you have prio mid at least. Your top lane is basing, but at least that's shoved in. So there's a lot more reasons for me to like you doing this that I wish you just did 30 seconds ago, right? If you based and you came out here, earlier, it would have gone way better for you. Okay, so Lux does end up dying. We see Warwick bottom. I assume you're going to go top. Okay, you're going to counter jungle. I don't mind the counter jungle here. What I can tell is you're not, again, just by the way that you're deciding to path, I can tell that you're not tracking Warwick very well this game. And again, that comes down to CS, that comes down to knowing what side of the map he's been on. Okay, do we go in here? Okay. So if we're paying attention, let me ask you a question. Right. Sorry, I'm not being silent because I think you did something super terrible. But I guess I'm just trying to, like, okay, this is no flame. This is no flame. I promise I don't flame anybody. As you see this develop, right, you're probably, I assume you're waiting for the cage to go down, but you're still waiting, like, you're waiting outside the fight. So in this situation, yes, she gets caged, but can't you start fighting Veigar? So you're waiting, not only you're waiting a long time, but you're waiting very far away. And then the other thing, we can see both Shakos. So there's a Shako that's sitting here fighting at 1 HP, and there's one that's running away. Even if you don't know which Shako is real, I think it's pretty clear that the Shako that is, you know, not wanting to be alive anymore, is the fake one. And so, yeah, I think maybe... I might have to check, because you did send me a POV. I'd be interested to check your POV in this situation to be able to tell basically what your camera was doing. In fact, I'm going to write that down real quick. I need to get my cursor back. All right. Okay, let's see how the rest of it plays out. Okay, let me just go back. Remember, you also sent me in the DMs here, you sent me a few... Okay. So at 13 minutes, you're going to ask, should I rift mid? It's one of the things that you want to know. So in this situation, well, maybe for those of you watching, does he rift mid? Okay. For me, the answer is a very clear yes. Why? Because we have basically everyone here. I mean, yeah, we have literally 4 people here, and Lux is dead. So we have basically everyone here. Rift Herald is gonna chunk this turret huge. We have even a nice wave while their mid laner's dead. Shako had to base. Warwick had to run away. I mean, yeah, every sign indicates that rifting here is good. However, at the time that you decide to rift, it is not good. What I mean by that is, what I would have preferred is for you to spam ping this tower. You know, you target the tower. You want to hit the tower. Indicate to everybody, start hitting the tower. They're going to get the tower down. Once it's about here, then you drop Rift Heralds, right? Because you're going to bypass the armor that the plates get. So you see how slow this plate is going down? You would have killed the tower had you basically you don't drop here. You want Rift Herald to crash around this mark or around this mark, right? In this area. Because you guys just hitting it, it's going to go down really easy for this plate, it's going to go down medium for this plate, and it's going to go down really difficult for this plate, and then almost impossible to take this plate, because every plate that you take, it stacks armor. It stacks resistances. However, Rift Herald just does a clean, approximately 1.5 plate, okay? It's basically like true damage to the tower. That's the way you can think of it. So we want to use Rift Herald when the tower has the most resistance as possible. Okay. So you end up going for the Shojin, which I do like. I think Shojin Rush is the clear way to go right now. Let's see how we play this. Okay, a little bit slow. You don't have Smite here. Let me just watch this again. Okay. So the way that I would approach this fight is I'm thinking like this. In a way, you're probably going into this fight going, "Hey, is this a 2v2? Is this a 2v1?" Right? Lux doesn't seem like she's in a good position, but she is kind of showing intent that she wants to come and hit Warwick, right? Especially after you show. And so I kind of wish that you played this almost a little slower. Because also what I'm thinking is that maybe... What does Veigar do with his cage, actually? Where's his cage? He has his cage up. They're showing me right there that his cage was on cooldown. Where does he place it? Oh, right here. Okay, okay, gotcha. So, I guess you know that Veigar's cage is down, so I don't mind going right on him. But as well, I wish you played it a bit slower. I think the first thing you want is the dragon. The second thing you want is the lower health person. But overall, overall, I don't actually think you play this bad. Okay, and then you end up... Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm not a fan of this, brother. So, look. Is it okay to try to fight here? Yeah, I don't think it's bad. Is there a better target to try to fight here? Yep. There's another better target to try to fight here. Lux clearly showing indication that she can try to hit this or hit the dragon, right? This is your 2v1. Okay? If you ignore him and he's kind of out of the fight, you guys can both focus in here. Look, do I think that you made a horrible play? No. But did Lux screw up? Absolutely not. She lands almost everything. Right? She just misses the dragon and then... Oh, I guess she messed up her E. Does that end up mattering? I mean, no. And then you spam pinger? Come on, brother. We're better than that. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. 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 We gotta be better than that. It was not a clear fight. It was not a clear fight at all. I'm not going to blame you because I don't think anything was super obvious that it was like, oh, you clearly should have done this. I think you could have created a potential 2v1. I think we could have maybe put a bit more emphasis on going for the dragon. But I'm not gonna, you know, fault you, I guess. At the end of the day, we made the decision we made. Could have been a bit better, but that's okay. But we don't ping our teammates when we didn't even play it, you know, as well as we could have. Okay, so we're gonna go back into clearing here. We have Shojin. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, really nice, really well played. So we can see here that cage has been dropped. So one thing that I would like you to do, though, that you did top lane that I don't think you do here, is right here we start charging up our E. Okay, see at 31 and you run straight into him at 84. You played it really well top, but you don't play it as well here. What I prefer to see you do is drop your W, drop your Q, auto attack, proc phase rush, and then use the rest of your E. You'll get the most damage that way. So definitely could have played this better mechanically. Does work out though. One thing I really like that you did is that you held your ulti, and then the second that he flashes away, then you ult after him. Alright, that is the perfect way that we do this. The other thing here is you're not using Ghost quite yet. You don't end up proccing Ghost until later, so you use your E, use your W, use your Q, and now you're ghosting. Okay, so we are losing a significant amount of DPS, and you probably would not have even needed your ulti in this case. So just, again, just something to point out, but again, I really like that you held your ult until he flashed away, or used his only, you know, mobility to try to get away from you. E that. Nice. You hesitated maybe slightly, but overall, that was good. Really, really good. Okay, we're gonna base here. So I really hope that you did. I really hope that you did Krugs because it means you get an item. No. So doing Krugs here was basically just a waste of time because it's the only thing that we can do bottom here, right? There's nothing to do mid. We're too low. There's only one camp up bottom. Not only is it up on the bottom side, but it's so far away from where you're at, right? I would prefer to see you just base from where you're at, just base here, back to base, and then go to your opposite side, go to wherever basically the most camps are going to spawn first. And begin your sequencing once again. Okay. Okay. So let me see here. So by the way, in this position, this is something that I'm glad happened because we can see right here, you're doing this camp, you're intentionally putting yourself on the opposite side of the map, or excuse me, not intentionally putting it, you're walking very far, like half the map from mid all the way down here and all the way through. I know I just talked about this, but why I'm saying this now is because, yeah, Rift Herald is spawning, right? So you're already down 2 dragons. We don't want to be down, we don't want to be even in Rift Heralds. So here, the fact that you're coming out of base after Rift Herald spawn, because you decided to traverse all of this, these are some of the small things that we can decide to clean up. Kane is really popping off here, so we're definitely lucky. He has definitely carried the top side. Okay, so we're shoving mid. Yeah, I don't mind this. Let me take a look at some of those notes again. Okay. All right, 950. We're gonna get a fight here. So let's see how this goes. Okay. So we know Cage is down, right? So what can we look for here? All right, that's fine. Don't get too excited by the first Shaco we see. Nice. Nice. Okay, I like that you didn't get too hasty on this, again, on the first Shaco that we saw. Zoom in on you a little bit here. So, what I would have liked to see you do, actually, in this situation, let's just go forward a little bit. When Shaco shows up, so he ults in, use your E here. Maybe, you know, probably didn't need to do that, but that's okay. You Q the clone once. I would, obviously, we know this is the clone, right? Very clear. What I would do here is then use this clone to stack everything. Get all your Q stacks off this clone. He's literally giving you away. So I would have queued once, and then probably followed this forward a little bit until it's in a place where this is too dangerous. Looking for at least 2 Q stacks off of this, right? As Hecarim, this is one of the biggest mechanics that you need to be paying attention to before a game begins. This is a really nice ult. I like comboing with Lux there. So really well done. You get stunned for about 18.5 years. I would be very careful here. Nice. Okay. You're good. Yeah, after it was just Nasus, I would have probably just gone to the dragon, but overall, I think that was good. So, try to think a little bit more, like where can we get Q stacks before a fight? Yeah, where can we get Q stacks before a fight, and then after the fight is all but over, don't risk your life, you know? Who's to say that fight doesn't go a little bit differently? Nasus doesn't hit for a bit harder than you thought, or he has Wither up and you didn't, you know, calculate that properly. Something along those lines. No point in gambling your own life that way. Okay. So personally here, I'm thinking that we can start to really communicate, hey, Baron is going to be the next objective. I really like that you're going mid here to shove. I don't... Okay, if you're going to... Okay, here's the thing. I don't actually mind this Herald drop at all. I don't mind this Herald drop at all. What I would prefer to see you do is, if you're gonna Herald drop this, I'm basically wanting to get something else off of it, because here, yes, you can see some clashing heads, but it's not clear that you can just walk up and start hitting this. At least it's not clear to me at all. What I would prefer to do here is to use Rift Herald as a way to get something bigger, like Baron, right? So before, while I'm clearing all of these, if your intent is to run mid and drop Rift Herald here in this area, you should already be communicating to your team, hey, let's look for Baron. Let's get your bot lane up here. Like, I would basically just be pinging on my way to Baron. I'm clearing this. I'm pushing in mid. I'm dropping Rift Herald. Everyone's going to Baron. Like, that's what happens in a perfect world here. Now, your team won't always do this, but the thing is, we need to be at least trying to set this up, trying to communicate this. And so I think that you realize a bit too late that your team does end up fighting. Close from Lux. And we don't quite end up getting the tower. No. So it's not the worst, but I think again, it's like at the beginning of the game you did a great job being communicative, but now you're not doing it nearly as much. Okay, this Kayn is absolutely popping off. Coming up to defend him. I don't mind this. Let's not get into a situation where we're not clearing our camps anymore, though. Okay, so you're potentially looking for Warwick. You do see him. Pretty sure you guys saw each other there. Or at least it was very close. What I'm looking for here, what's your next biggest power spike? You're not that far from level 14. Checking items. You do have Stridebreaker now. Oh, interesting. You went for some anti-heal. I actually don't mind that at all, considering they have a Nasus and a Warwick. Okay. So I think we're coming up to a decent fight here. Okay, Lux goes down. Your support gets chunked. So there is no fight here. If you start fighting, I'm not a fan. Okay. So they don't end up playing this poorly. Or excuse me, the red team ends up playing this poorly, despite having quite a significant advantage. Just even health-wise. Yeah, they end up leaving Vayne out to dry. But you kind of see what I mean. Like, even though Vayne was super low with how much CC and how much he's able to kite you, I wasn't a fan of this at all. I think even Nasus, like, takes about 1,000,000 years to TP in. Let's see, how does this end? You're looking for a way back in. I would probably just abandon this. Okay. I mean, good job, I guess. Again, I just think this is it's so low percentage, right? Like, at the end of the day, I'm glad that you recognize that Shaco is being extremely greedy, but I think a long time ago, you should have recognized that this fight is over. Either base, go bottom, protect this turret, take your camps. There's a lot more that we could be doing here that is basically guaranteed that I would prefer to see you do. You should get away from him here. He's so fast. Okay. So you asked me in your notes, how do we win this in reference to that last fight? The answer is you don't, because when the fight actually started, it wasn't that good. Okay. So they are a bit low. We have to be careful here. Okay, Warwick is gonna kind of int. Yeah, I mean, like, to be honest, man, like, this game is in a sense a product of you guys being so ahead. I don't think your team is playing that well outside of Kayn. And you're so in this situation, you know. Okay. In this situation, we're trying to force a fight that, if these teams are even, like it's just we never win it. Like Vayne misses or condemn, you miss your ulti. See, how does this play out? Okay, I mean, you do all you can against the Nasus, but yeah, again, this is very clearly a product of your team being up, you know, 6k gold, and just brute forcing it. But I guess in many ways, you if I had to guess, just from what I've seen from you, there's probably a lot of games where it feels like a coin flip for you, and you're not entirely sure what to do. And it feels like you can fight this fight, you know, 10 times and you lose 5 of them. That's because these fights, there isn't like one clear thing where it's like, yes, we should clearly be going in here. At the end of the day, like, this Warwick is kind of running it down. The enemy team is misplaying mechanically. You know, Vayne is running forward and just dying. So I guess that's why I'm being more nitpicky on you specifically, because you wanted me to review this game. All right. So here again, the biggest objective on the map is Baron. So let's try to look towards this. Your trinket, you do have 2 charges of scanner, which you're going to use 1. Yeah, be very careful here. I mean, like, again, this is kind of some of the 50-50 behavior that I'm seeing. If we just go like this, okay, so right now we see Nasus. We know Shaco's in here. He's been placing boxes. We know that Vygar's in here. We can now see Shaco. We don't know where Nasus is now. We don't know where Vygar, or we don't know where Warwick is now. So walking up to this bush is extremely dangerous. Who's to say that Vayne isn't sitting here, that Nasus isn't right around this corner, that Warwick isn't right around this corner, you get caged and die, or at least you have to blow your ulti, right? These are the types of things we can start to eliminate. Alright, we do find Warwick. So just going back again. There's Warwick. Alright, guys. Apologies once again. OBS has crashed for the 2nd time. Hopefully we can get through this video without any more crashes, but nonetheless, we're just going to continue from right where we left off. Basically, what we're seeing here, honestly, is the enemy team sort of just sprinting it down, and as I've been kind of saying, like, these fights are a bit 50-50. This is the type of thing we can definitely clean up if we're looking to, I guess, make our games just not so up in the air. Things that we're looking for in these fights, we're looking for man advantages, we're looking for health advantages, we're looking to be able to cut, especially as Hecarim, unless we can really one-shot a backliner, we are looking to cut off their front line from their back line. Maybe in a team comp like this, right, where we have kind of 3 long-range artillery-style champions, we want to just create space for them. And so if you're going to be picking Hecarim, and especially if Hecarim's going to be going like this bruiser build, then for sure that's probably the type of thing that we're looking to do, because we're not necessarily just going to, you know, ult past the enemy team and kill Vayne. So let's see how we try to end this game. Right now, a few of them are top, and we're just going to run it down the mid lane here. So right now, right, our top laner has just died, and so what I want you to do is just back up, just back up very far, actually, because they're all going to be coming down here. We can't get cut off, okay? And the thing is, you can't leave your Jinx and your Xerath out to dry, so I'm wanting to go right back here. Maybe we're noticing this a bit too late. You auto-attack the tower. It could have been scary if they all just ran at you here. It could have been a little bit scary. But now, what I'd like you to do, because we have a man, like we're at a disadvantage. Okay, this is good. I want you to get an advantage somewhere else. I do not want you to fight here, which it looks like you're probably going to. See, here in this situation, Baron's down. Dragon is down. You are down an important person on your team. Kane, come bottom here, shove this out. Go in, maybe go and drop a ward if you have one. I think you have scanner. So you won't. You could counter jungle, you could shove this, you could go into your own jungle, you could reset, you could then go towards your top side. But the point being is that there's a lot of other things that we could be doing here. I don't want to see us fight here, which I think we're about to. Yep. Okay, so we ult into the middle of the fight, and I think we're going to die here. It's just going to be too much CC with the Wither. Yeah. And so the kind of what I was saying earlier is, as Hecarim, we need to create space for our team, and it's really hard to create space as Bruiser Hecarim being like a single tank. You going into the middle of the whole enemy team, they're going to be able to burst you down, and now these guys have no space. So I know in your note you said, oh, but my team should be able to clean up here, but there's no indication that that should be the case. Yes, they're kind of low. These guys are kind of low, but your team has no space whatsoever to just stand here and start fighting, right? Especially with Warwick. He's not going to die right away. He's going to heal a little bit. Nasus, he's going to heal a little bit. If he gets 1 Q, Vayne's got her ulti ticking, her passive. She runs at these guys really, really quickly, right? So it's not that clear. So Warwick goes down. Vayne gets hit by a few things. Vayne's just going to push Lux away. And oh my goodness. Okay, so again, this was a total 50-50 of a fight. Your team ended up playing it decently. The enemy team played it really poorly. And so the point being here again is that this is just a 50-50 fight. When we're down a man, when we don't have a clear advantage, I don't want you going for this type of thing. This is also how games are thrown, right? Okay, so we're going to look for Dragon here. So again, what I want to see from you is I want you just to create space for your team. You could probably finish this. If you don't, if you pull off, I just want you to create space. Don't do anything too crazy here. Let's see how this plays out. Okay, so Cage is down. Okay, so I'm not a big fan of going for this. All right, yes, he's a primary target. He's squishy. You're 2 levels up. Okay, it's not like the worst thing ever, but what makes it not good is that we know there's a box right here. We saw that, okay? We have vision of a box right here, so we know Shaco's in here. We haven't seen Vayne yet, okay? And so we're kind of just running in, being a little crazy. I'm not the biggest fan. And yeah. Okay, they don't have the damage to really do anything for us. Jinx picks up the dragon. We mess up our ult, but it just doesn't end up mattering, and you guys are going to end off this. So, again, like, I hope you're kind of seeing, like, some of these things I'm pointing out. The fights that you're taking and how deep you're trying to go, you just don't necessarily have the ability to do this. So, again, fight-wise, consider what advantages you have and what you don't have. Create space for your team, especially as Bruiser Hecarim. And let's also get a bit more consistent in the sense that early game, you were pulling camps pretty decently. You were pinging really nicely, right? You spam pinged to warn your lanes about Warwick. You know, so you're doing some good things, but then you stop doing them around the mid game, right? We stopped pulling camps so well. We stopped trying to. I didn't see you try to camp anything. You know. These types of things, I think we can just, if we did it more consistently throughout the entirety of the game, you would see improvement. I think you have the tools for improvement, but it's about, again, I say this so often, it's about making the patterns that right now might seem uncomfortable, might seem even a bit abstract, and just making them a part of our day-to-day League of Legends experience. So guys, if you enjoyed this type of content, please leave a like, leave a sub. We're so close to 1K at the making of this video. And yeah, it's been an amazing month so far. Looking forward to so much more. All right, Pope Zano out.